scared that got really quick. Read my other video. Watch my other videos because I'm gonna read you guys the Meet Julie video after video, just like I did for the Go For It series. But I finished that book. Meet Julie. There's all the other dolls for the historical dolls. Table of contents. Okay. I'm gonna read this. Julie. Read that. Tracy, her sister. Mom. Dad. And then this is friends. TJ. Coach Manley. And Ivy. Those are the characters that are in this book. Chapter 1, Moving Day. The world spun. First upside down, then right side up again, as Julie Albright and her best friend Ivy Ling turned cartwheels around the backyard. "Watch me do a backflip," called Ivy. She leaned back, stretching her neck like a tree bending in the wind. Soon her shiny black ponytail bounced upside down as she twirled through the air, landing perfectly on her 2 feet. "I always fall flat on my face," said Julie. "I'll never be as good as you, no matter how hard I practice," she sighed. "I'm sure going to miss doing gymnastics with you after school every day." "I'm going to miss playing basketball in your driveway," said Ivy, "even though you always beat me." Julie stuck out her lower lip and made an exaggerated sad face. Both girls fell down laughing. Then they stretched out on the grass, folding their hands behind their heads, and gazed dreamily at the clear blue sky, a perfect September day. "Hey, look," said Julie, pointing to an airplane high up in the sky. "Maybe that's my dad." "Hi, Dad." The 2 girls whooped and yelled and waved. Mr. Albright was a pilot. Julie always waved at every airplane she saw, imagining it might be her dad flying to some exotic, far-off country. "What are you going to miss most?" Julie asked. "Walking to school together and sitting behind you in class," said Ivy, "passing notes and braiding your hair when the teacher's not looking." Julie had long, straight blonde hair, and Ivy could make a teeny tiny braid down one side in seconds. "Who am I going to be lunch buddies with?" said Julie. "You're the only friend in the world who would trade me your Twinkie for a pickle." "Julie," Mom called from the back porch as she took down some hanging geraniums. "Time to get a move on. The van will be here in half an hour." Geraniums are a type of flower, if you didn't know that. Okay, I think I'm going to do this page and maybe that's it. Yeah, because it stops. Julie and Ivy turned cartwheels all the way to the back steps. "I guess I better get going," said Ivy. "Not yet," said Julie. "Come up to my room with me while I make sure I'm all packed." Upstairs, Julie scooped up Nutmeg, her pet rabbit, from her favorite spot in the laundry basket, and plopped down cross-legged next to Ivy on Mom's old footlocker. It was covered with travel stickers of Big Ben, London Bridge, and the Eiffel Tower. Ivy stroked Nutmeg's velvet brown hair, while Julie scratched her pet behind her floppy lop ears. Nutmeg snuffled softly, and her sleepy eyes started to close. "I'm sure gonna miss you, girl," said Julie, kissing her on her wiggly nose and nuzzling her whiskers. "But Ivy's going to take extra special good care of you whenever Dad's gone." Julie took a long last look around her room. Ghosts of posters that had once decorated the walls formed an empty gallery around the room, showing off the flowered wallpaper. Craters in the blue shag rug made a strange moonscape, a map of where Julie's desk and dresser had once been. Boxes were piled up everywhere. "It looks like a fort in here," said Ivy. Maybe one more page. "Remember when we built that fort out of clay we dug up from the garden, and we dressed up our little kittles in old-timey clothes?" "I remember," sighed Ivy. The room turned middle of the night quiet. Julie and Ivy couldn't look at each other. "I still can't believe you're moving," said Ivy, flashing her dark eyes at Julie. "It's only a few miles away across town," said Julie. "It's not like I'm moving to Mars." I won't be able to blink lights at you from across the street anymore to say goodnight, said Ivy. We can call each other up, Julie pointed out. And you'll still see me on the weekends when I come visit my dad. There was a lump again. She felt that every time she thought of being without Dad, she thought she got used to the idea of her parents being divorced. But now that she wouldn't be living with Dad anymore, suddenly it wasn't just an idea, it was real. Here, said Julie, I made us friendship bracelets. We can both wear them and think of each other. She handed a colorful knotted bracelet to Ivy. There it is. Neat, said Ivy, and it's red and purple, my favorite colors. Ignore the noises and voices in the background. Red and purple are my favorites too, said Julie, and also blue, green, pink, and sometimes yellow. Put it on my ankle, said Ivy, holding out her foot. Hey, do you have a magic marker? What for? Asked Julie, taking out a pen from her box of desk stuff. Give me your foot, said Ivy. Julie held out her once clean high-top sneaker. She had doodled all over it with markers. Ivy wrote something on the rubber tip of the shoe. Julie peered at the letters A-F-A. A friend always, said Julie. Julie's big sister, Tracy, poked her head into Julie's room. Mom says to start bringing our stuff down. Set it in the front room. Not yet, Julie protested. Just a few more minutes. It was bad enough they were making her move. Now they were taking away her last moments with her best friend, too. Mom says now, said Tracy, sounding annoyed. Julie got up and tried lifting a too-heavy box. Then set it back down and began dragging a garbage bag across the floor instead. Now I know why they call it Labor Day, she grumbled. I guess I better go for real this time, said Ivy. Julie nodded. The two friends hooked binkies in a secret handshake they'd had since kindergarten. Neither girl wanted to be the one to let go first. Julie, Tracy, and Mom sat cross-legged on the floor of their new apartment, holding cardboard cartons of Chinese takeout. Mom had pushed a few moving boxes together to serve as a table, and their dinner was spread out on top of the boxes. It's so great here, said Tracy. I found this cool stairway you can climb up at Farnsworth. You can see all the way to that new skyscraper that looks like a pyramid. She paused to slurp some noodles out of off her chopsticks. And you should see all the groovy shops I passed along Haight Street when I went to get takeout. Julie admired the way Tracy was always so confident about everything. She wished she could be certain she'd like it here. My favorite part is that we live above the shop now, said Mom. Think of it. To go to work, I just have to run downstairs. A few months ago, Mom had opened a shop downstairs at street level on the corner of Redbud and Frederick, with windows that face both streets. Mom's shop was full of handmade stuff, such as purses made of worn-out blue jeans. The shop was called Glad Rags. Mom had told Julie it was from Rod Stewart's song that went, the handbags and the glad rags. The name was Tracy's idea. She had heard the song on the radio. How about you, Julie? Asked Mom. What do you think you're going to like best about living here? Julie glanced around the room. Tiny rainbows of color danced across the empty walls, flashing from the prism Mom had hung in the front window. Well, I especially like the dining table, Julie decided, pointing to the boxes they were eating on. Mom and Tracy laughed. The real dining table isn't put back together yet, said Mom. I couldn't find the screwdriver. Couldn't find the hairbrush either, huh, Mom? Have you looked in the mirror lately? Asked Tracy. To Julie, her 15-year-old sister was a teenage hair freak. Tracy actually used orange juice cans for curlers to straighten her hair. Julie looked over at her mom's tumbling brown hair, held in a sagging bun with a pair of hair sticks. Tracy's right, Mom. You should see. You have a big giant hair bump. More like a camel hump, said Tracy. The two girls leaned back, laughing. Hey, what can I say? Asked Mom. It's hard to look like Miss America on moving day. Mom's bangle bracelet jingled as she tried to pin her hair back up. The doorbell rang and Tracy ran to answer it. Mom, it's some guy, she announced. I'll read the rest in a little bit. Bye.